Hello, I'm Craig Hill, Dean here at Perkins School of Theology, and I'd like to bring you up to date on some of the exciting things happening here at Perkins. At the top of the list would probably be the revision of the Houston-Galveston program under the leadership of Dr. Hugo Magallanes, who's the Associate Professor of Christianity and Cultures. From now on, beginning this fall, the Houston-Galveston program will focus on hybrid courses in which students come only at the beginning and end of the semester and do online work in between those visits, and in 1 week intensive. Now what this means is it's possible for students to maintain full-time ministries or other work and be able to have a Perkins theological education. It also means that they can take the entire degree, an MAM or an MDiv degree, at the Houston-Galveston location. We're very excited about that development. It's opened up doors for people to be part of Perkins who couldn't formerly. We have students already signed up from this fall from as far away as Florida and California. All the change is not happening just in Houston-Galveston, of course. A lot of things are happening here in Dallas on our campus. High on this list would be the Bridwell Library renovation, a $6.4 million renovation. Most importantly, making the library ADA compliant, accessible for persons in wheelchairs, for example, which it's barely been in the past. If you've been in Bridwell, in the elevator in particular, it's like going into a little cube or phone booth. And when I walk in under the mezzanine, for me, it's like going into an MRI. It's very short. All that's going to be opened up and I think be a great improvement. Many of you know our very outstanding and long-standing library director, Roberta Skofsma. She has just retired. She's been replaced, succeeded, really not replaced, by Anthony Elia, who is, I think, an outstanding choice and is going to lead us forward in this renovation. Speaking of fundraising, the real focus here in fundraising now and in the future, we hope, is not going to be on buildings but on people, particularly raising funds for financial aid. We don't want people to leave overburdened with debt. So we had a program here called the Perkins Scholars for the last 2 years. We're going into our 3rd year of that, in which we've raised money for 10 people each year, 10 new people each year, to have $7,000 of additional scholarship aid. After next year, that will mean $210,000 every year of concurrent theological education. We've raised money from other sources as well. The 2018 Bolin Family Public Life and Personal Faith Luncheon, for the first time, those funds have been directed toward financial aid. This last year, that's $73,000 we raised. It was a wonderful event featuring Joseph Jaworski, the son of Leon Jaworski, an expert on leadership. Next year's program will be in February. It's Judy Woodruff of the PBS NewsHour, who will be interviewed by Peggy Waymeyer, the former religion reporter for ABC World News Tonight, something we're very excited about. Also here on campus, there are a lot of partnerships opening up that are exciting for us, particularly around the university. I think one of the things that is most exciting for me about Perkins is its location with SMU, for the tremendous opportunities for collaboration and integration within the wider university. Already we have 2 elective degree concentration in other schools, one at Cox Business School, just a couple blocks away, in church and nonprofit management. Another one here at Meadows School of the Arts, which is right next door, in social innovation and nonprofit engagement. I think it's really the tip of the iceberg for what's possible. I tell incoming students, if you're a student at Perkins, you're also a student at SMU. We want students not only to go deeper, but to go broader, to think theologically in a very broad way that incorporates all of human knowledge. And this is a marvelous place to do just that. Speaking of partnerships, one of the focuses we've had this year has been on creating partnerships with other colleges and universities, church-related colleges and universities within the region who would be natural partners for us. Feeder schools for us in terms of admissions, of course, but actually much, much more. There are lots of ways in which we can help each other. We can partner together with faculties and with students, create new opportunities and exciting opportunities for all of us. We started last fall with Centenary College in Louisiana. Since then, we've created memoranda of understanding with 8 additional ones. Southwestern University, Austin College, Wiley College, Texas Wesleyan University, McMurray University, Houston-Tillotson University, all here in Texas. And up in Arkansas, Hendrix College and Philander Smith College. With more, I hope, on the way. I'm pretty sure on the way. I think these are going to be great partnerships for us all. We've also created a partnership with Wesley House in Cambridge, England, and Cambridge University. This past year, we had 2 students for the first time undertake a diploma in theology and ministry at Cambridge University. We hope to do more of this, expect to do more of this in the future. I was a student at Oxford University and later a visiting fellow at Cambridge, and I just love the fact that some Perkins students are getting the chance to live in that environment, to be exposed to that kind of education. Another partnership, speaking of England, is with Cliff College in England. Cliff College is one of only 2 training facilities for Methodist clergy in England. We've had a number of very stimulating, encouraging conversations with them recently. The first thing that's leading to, beginning in a year, is the opportunity for some Perkins students to have internships in England. It's actually something I did when I was in seminary. I had an internship doing student ministry at Oxford. So very excited about students here having that chance, but also opportunities for placements as pastors for some Perkins graduates in England through the help of Cliff College as well. Another program beginning here on the Dallas campus this fall is called MAST, like the mast of a ship that carries the sail that catches the wind, that propels the ship. MAST stands for Minister, Author, Scholar, Teacher. It occurred to us a while ago that there are a number of Perkins graduates, people like Adam Hamilton, Michael Waters, Robert Schnese, and others, who are pastor scholars who write very effectively for the church. Well, we want to encourage that. We want to identify the next generation of such people and put them in touch with other authors, put them in touch with publishers, equip them to succeed as authors for the benefit of the church. So each year we'll identify a small cohort, and this exciting program is under the leadership of Dr. Ted Campbell, himself someone who's written extensively for the benefit of the church. Another new thing here at Perkins this past year rather, was the staff council. We put a lot of emphasis here on community, on trying to create an environment in which people can be together, can know each other as people and not simply as positions. Well, that requires that you actually have to get to know each other. One of the places I thought that we were lacking in this area was particularly with our staff, and so we've created a staff council to give the staff voice, formal voice within Perkins, but also opportunities for them to come together and to work together and to care for each other. But much more broadly beyond that, not meaning to segregate the staff, we're trying to bring everyone together, faculty, students, and staff, as I said, to know each other as people and not merely as positions. One of the things we've done for that, beginning last year, was that Tracy Ann Allred, who's known to many of you, was promoted to the Assistant Dean of Student Life and Director of Community Engagement. So her job in part is to create opportunities for us to get to know each other. We're doing a lot of really wonderful and innovative things on that front, more and more each year. The other part of her job I mentioned was Director of Community Engagement. Part of her brief here is to connect Perkins students with all of the exciting and interesting ministries going on around us. I often say, there's a lot of wisdom in the theological school that needs to be out in the church. There's also an awful lot of wisdom and knowledge out in the church that needs to come into the theological school. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to give our students exciting models of ministry. And that's the kind of thing that discipleship is. Discipleship is not just learning in a classroom, it's going and modeling yourself on someone else. And we have lots and lots of wonderful models of ministry in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston areas. A lot of people come to fall convocation. It's turned out more and more people have been coming, which has been exciting. This last year's fall convocation featured Christian author Anne Lamott. We had over 2,300 people participate. It filled the McFarland Auditorium, which was delightful to see. This November, fall convocation will be Christian author Brian McLaren. We'd like to encourage all of you who can come to be part of that. A lot of other things have been growing here. Hispanic ministries under Paul Barton, youth ministry, Perkins School for Youth Ministry under Bart Patton. This last fall, speaking of the Hispanic ministries, this last fall we had for the first time a THM entirely in Spanish, which is something we're really delighted about. When I'm out and about in the church, people often ask about enrollment, so let me just say a word about that. We have put together an exciting team over the course of the last year, headed by Dr. Margot Perez-Green, the Associate Dean for Enrollment Management. Enrollment last fall was up over the previous year by more than 40%. I'm recording this in the summer, but I'd like to say I believe with some confidence that we'll be growing again this fall, as we hope to continue to do. I want to thank you for your support. I want to tell you, I realize as Dean more than ever before that this comes in a lot of different forms. One of the key forms is you referring students to us. It's very important. Many students make a decision about a theological school because someone whom they trusts that institution. And so as much as you can tell others about us or you can put us in contact with those students, we would be delighted and grateful for you to do so. It's also a form of support for you to participate in events here on campus, either here or say at the Houston Lay School, fall convocation here and so forth. We'd love to have you be an active part of our programs. We'd also love to hear what you think. A lot of the things we're trying to do now are a result of things that people have told us. We want to hear you, we want to be in partnership with you. As I said, a lot of wisdom is out there that we need to get a hold of here in the church, so please be in touch with us about that. Of course, there's financial support, financial partnership. Every week, sometimes every day, but certainly every week, someone comes to me with an idea or with a need, and very often, most often, it comes down to, can we do something about this? Can we afford to do something about this? I've mentioned the MAST program, I think is a very exciting thing going on here at Perkins. Well, that is happening in part because the week that idea came up, we received an unsolicited $10,000 gift from a church that will underwrite that program. The gift of finances creates the gift of opportunity for us here. We can do more, and we promise to use those resources very wisely and well. Speaking of wisely, the other kind of support that we really long for and appreciate is your prayer. At the end of the day, we don't simply want to succeed by having better numbers or having lots of activity. We want to do God's will. We want to do what's right. We want to advance God's reign and to spread the love of Christ in the world. To do that, we have to be of the right mind. We have to be attuned to God's voice. We have to be open and willing. We have to be bold and courageous. And so, above all, I ask for your prayers. Scripture says, unless God builds it, they labor in vain who try it all. We want to be doing God's work here. And in every way that you support us to do that, we're very grateful. Thank you.